Taking this moment to breathe, to settle in, to find our center before we continue on. Continue to deepen your breath. Let the exhales flow a little bit longer than your inhales. Exhaling through the mouth or through the nose. Take 5 more rounds of breath here. Staying in this space maybe a little bit longer than we want to. Turning inwards a little bit longer than we want to. But we want to begin with this practice. We want to begin this practice with where we are, instead of pushing it away or silencing it. Begin with where you are, and that starts with listening. Use these breaths to spiral inwards. Take notice of where you are, how you feel right now. After your last breath, eyes stay closed, hands just come to heart center. Take a couple breaths with the thumb joint pressing into the sternum, really beginning that connection between the breath and the heart space. Where that breath comes in to enter the body, you feel where it expands the chest, opens that cavity right by the heart. Send that breath to your heart. Maybe it needs something in particular tonight. Maybe we just build that connection, mind and body. Take 2 more breaths here. Feeling the chest push into the thumbs with your inhale, and exhale, maintaining that connection but letting the chest fall. After your last breath, eyes again stay closed. Hands come up so that the thumb is at the third eye chakra, the space in between the eyebrows. Thumb presses gently there. Maybe give a little circle one way and then the other. Just stimulating that seat of intuition. We hold right there, and then one Om begins our practice. Inhale, exhale, Om. Beautiful. Gently release the hands, flutter open your eyes. If you are laying on your back, just come gently up to a seated position. And if you're seated, just rock backwards, maybe knees, windshield wiper one way and then the other. We're going to begin tonight in a supported fish pose. So you will need your bolster or your pillow. I'm going to demonstrate how to get into this pose. It's basically just a heart opener or chest opener. So you want to come with your bolster long in your space. You're going to sit your tailbone back until the edge of the bolster. Legs can bend or they can go long, whatever feels good. And you're just going to melt yourself back over the bolster. But elbows are going to be bent at 90 degrees, propped up like this, so that the chest can really extend forward. Now in this pose, if you start to feel tightness in the traps because your elbows are bent, just lengthen the arms long, bring them out to a T. In this pose, we hold and we breathe. We're here for 10 whole breath cycles, quite a while. We're beginning this practice tonight, this upper body lengthening and stretching practice by opening through the chest. Think of how many hours we spend hunched over in a day. We're going to just begin to counteract that right here, opening the chest. Now holding in this pose, you may notice that one side feels different than the other. That is the case for me for sure. My left side is crunched over when I play my instrument, so lengthening and expanding does feel different on both sides. Just notice, be patient with the side that's resistant if that's the case. Breath continues to flow, energy continues to flow throughout the body. Should be a little over halfway through your breaths, maybe 6 or 7. After your last breath, let that big exhale go, and then gently start to walk yourself back up onto your forearms so you're still in that bent elbow position. You can use the back of the pillow as a little support here, just kind of propping up that space in between your shoulder blades. We're going to begin with a little bit of core work just to connect the back and the core. So from here, your knees are bent, elbows are on the earth. You're just going to start with some marches, reversing one leg at a time. And we start to marry this with our breath. So we inhale, bring that knee in. Exhale, let it go. Option to try the other way. Inhale as you let it go, and exhale as you bring the knee in. If the neck is starting to fatigue, option to bring the hands behind the neck, or behind the head rather. Just a couple here. If the hip flexors are talking and they're the loudest thing you can hear, extend the legs long and you can just lift it up and press it down. I like to exhale as I bring the knee in and inhale as I press out. Reminds me to lengthen with that inhale and to crunch in with that exhale. Do whatever feels good for you. Take 3 more on each side. Breath is key here. Breath is the most important thing. Make your movements as slow as that breath needs to be. In your last round, make it your slowest yet. And then after your very last one, start to bring the chest off of the bolster. Start to bring the knees up into a boat pose. We hold here for not long. We're here for 5, 3, 2, 1. Weight goes forward, knees go wide, come into a butterfly pose. Bending the torso down, really releasing through the inner hips, the inner thighs. Shift your weight side to side. Maybe option for arm to extend overhead. Beautiful. And then switch to the other side. Feeling that good side body stretch. Take whatever else feels good to you here. We have a couple more moments before we continue on. Take your last side and then come to find the center. Legs are gonna go long in front of you, but stay bent. So maybe not long all the way, but we're gonna start to roll onto our back. So bring the knees as close as you want them to be so that you can maybe reach out and touch your toes as you roll back. We're coming into a few bridge lifts. A little earlier in our practice than we usually do them, but we're building that core and back connection. So laying all the way down on your back, again, maybe fingertips just almost touch the heels, and then your legs can be parallel, or if you'd like to take this wider, they can be out in like a low V position. I'm gonna take mine in parallel position, again with the breath as the most important thing here. We inhale, rise the hips high to the sky. Exhale, lower them down. Instead of having the knees bear all the weight, press into the heels and lift through the glutes. There you go. Exhale, let it go. Take 3 more. Come with me on your inhale, rise. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and let it go. Last one here. Inhale, longest hold. Squeeze the glutes. Press the heels into the earth, shoulder blades melting down. Last 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Now bend the knees. One leg crosses in front of the other. We pull the outsides of the feet back for a reverse cow face pose, kind of like a pretzel position. This feels good for me to rock side to side. Really helps to get into the sides of the glutes. A bit more of a gentle way to stretch those than pigeon or a figure 4. And then when you're ready, just flip the legs, opposite one comes in front. You'll feel a targeted stretch on the opposite glute. Beautiful. Allowing the breath to slow. You're safe here. You're in your happy place. At least I hope so. But this happy place, this happy space is one where you have ultimate choice. And always know that about our practice. You have ultimate choice. So if something doesn't feel good, you switch it up and use it as a model for the rest of your life. When you're able to make those choices, you do so. Gently start to rock yourself up back to a seated position. We're going to cross our legs. Just begin some targeted breathing with a little bit of a back bend. So option for hands to come face down on your knees so that when you inhale, you can almost scoop like a little bit of a cat-cow, and then exhale round the back. Just try that a couple times. Targeting that upper back, again in a little bit of a gentler fashion. Then all the way into a cat-cow. Beautiful job. Now coming to stillness in the center, we're going to add our sun salutation breaths with arms, but from this seated position. So inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, pull them down through heart center. This is layer one. Continue on just like this, welcoming in all that energy, all that you want the next week to be. Maybe with your exhale, you push out something that you don't want to take with you. Let this motion be powerful. Let it be as deep as you need it to be. Knowing that the mind has so much power over what we consider to be deep and meaningful and what we brush away. So know that you have the choice right here to just go through the motions or to really bring the heart and soul into this. You have 5 more sets. Make them meaningful for you. Go a little faster if it feels good. Go a little slower if that's what you need. But with every breath, take it as a choice. Last one. Pull that energy down to the heart center. Stay right there. Feel the tingling sensation that comes from getting a lot of breath to every bit of the body. And you just did that. We barely know what we're capable of. Let's keep going. Exhale, flutter open your eyes. We're going to come to a kneeling position in all fours. Time to bring out the mat for me. So in your all fours or your kneeling position, wrists are right underneath of your shoulders, knees are right underneath of your hips. We're going into full cat-cows here. Tuck or untuck the toes, doesn't matter. Inhale, scoop up, gaze shifts up. Exhale, start from the low belly belly and use the core. Find your cow pose. I like to take a little stretch side to side. Or a cat, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if cats really do this. I've always been a dog person, so you'll have to let me know. But do whatever feels good. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. If you notice that the breath isn't aligned with the movement, make that your biggest goal, bringing them together against all else. Maybe they start to get bigger, start to rock side to side if that feels good. Breathing into one side and then the other. Take 2 more, all the way through. After your last breath, come to stillness in the center. We're gonna inhale, scoop the back just so it's a tiny bit curved, and then release the shoulders from your ears. So back has just a slight curve, like you zipped up a sweatshirt and you pulled that core in. Now holding that position, we're gonna inhale, extend one leg back. For me, it's my right. Doesn't really matter. But once you do that, make sure all your weight goes into that same hand as the lifted leg, like it has just become the knee on the earth. Holding there, we're gonna inhale, scoop through, and then exhale, place that foot on the mat. Now we're coming into a low lunge position. So make sure that front knee is bent 90 degrees. And then you have options with the arms. You can interlace them behind the back, finding a nice chest opener as well as a balance challenge. Or, my personal favorite, you can scoop one arm underneath of the other for an eagle arms. You're going to find a nice opening through the back of your upper back that traps. If you're going for this eagle position, try your best to get the fingertips to touch and then press the hands away. It's for sure a difficult challenge. After you've got your arms set, start to sink into that front knee. Maybe walk that foot out just a little more if the knee is way over top of the ankle. Simultaneously stretching through the upper back, but also lifting up. You'll feel that through the opposite hip flexor even more. Maybe close the eyes for extra balance challenge. Turning inwards. We hold for 3, 2, and 1. Start to unravel your arms from whichever choice you made. And then shift your weight back. Peel the toes up. Find a good hamstring stretch. Now option, if you'd like to take this a little further, place the opposite hand on the earth and then twist towards your front leg. Ooh, you'll feel that on the outside of your leg a little bit more. If that's too much, you can always let it go. Come back to center. Keep that breath going. We hold for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Gently use that core. Pull that knee up. Reset it beside the other. Knees come wide. Toes come to touch. Press your hips back for a child's pose. The great reset here helps us to stretch through the upper back, but also release through the hips. You can always come up and kind of shift your weight all the way around. Coming back to center whenever you are ready. Unclick the heels so that the toes are apart and bring the knees back underneath your hips. We're going on to side two. So inhale, send that opposite leg back, and again, find that core right away. So you're scooping in like you zipped up a sweatshirt. There you go. Pressing into the opposite hand, so the same hand as the lifted leg. We're holding here. Continue to breathe. Inhale, grow 1 inch. And then exhale, bring the knee through. Tap the foot onto the earth. Come to finger pads and then rise on your low lunge other side. So again, front knee is bent 90 degrees, sinking forward just a bit so that you can maintain that bend. And then choice with your arms. You can either extend them backwards, find a chest opener, or if you found eagle arms on the other side, my recommendation would be to try that again with the opposite arm underneath. Once your arms are where you want them to be, start to sink into that front knee, opening up through the opposite hip flexor, and simultaneously arch the back just a bit. You may lose your balance. I'm right here to remind you that that is okay. We come back stronger. Holding to breathe. Release the shoulders from your ears. Maybe unclick your jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth, relaxing the face. Unfurrow your eyebrows. Take 2 more breaths. And then release. Unravel your arms. Start to frame your front foot. Rock yourself backwards. Peel the toes up. Find your hamstring stretch on the other side. Now you can stay right here. Both sides may be very different, and this might be right where you need to be. Or if you would like, place the opposite hand next to that front foot, maybe just the finger pads, and start to twist yourself open. Hip points are closed. They're facing like headlights forward, but we're shifting the upper body into a twist. So the twist is coming from the mid to upper back. Take 1 more breath. And then exhale, reverse it, come back to the center. Take an inhale, start to lift that knee up, lift that foot up, and exhale, let it go. 1 more time, knees come wide, toes come to touch, press yourself back. Child's pose. In your child's pose, option to take a more restorative one, where your elbows are on the mat or the earth. Or if you'd like to make it more active, lift the elbows up, press into your finger pads to send your hips further back. If you take that option, do make sure that the shoulders fall out of your ears. It's easy to let them creep up. We don't need that. We just need a tiny bit of traction to push our hips back. Again, if you'd like. Take your option, and we hold here for 3 more breaths, just a little bit longer. After your last breath, let it go. Start to walk yourself back up into your all fours position. reset, and then we continue on. Come up to your knees, tuck your toes under, pressing yourself up so that you're in a kneeling position, mimicking your mountain pose. So as if your mountain pose was on your knees and your hands are open to receive. Option to close down the eyes. We're going to take those same breath cycles that we did earlier on. The Sun A breath cycle, kind of like a half Sun A now. We were at a fourth earlier. We're going to take it from a kneeling position here. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Find that little back bend that's available to you now. And exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now, option to stay there or add on something new with me. Inhale up. Exhale, flip the palms. Bring the arms in front. Inhale up. And exhale, let it go. Couple more like this. Inhale up. Clasp the hands. Reverse. Exhale, let it go. In front. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, let it go. So we're adding that step in between to really open through the upper back. If that doesn't feel good, leave it out. No problem. Inhale up. Flip the palms. Exhale. Tuck the chin. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. One more round. Inhale up. Exhale. Hold here. One breath. One exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. Gentle twist through the torso. Let the arms fall side to side. Just rock here. Holding in stillness in the center. One more inhale. Exhale, place the hands at your hip points, keeping the toes tucked under. We're going to come back for a gentle camel pose. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, walk your hands back as if they were on your back pockets, and then reach for the heels once you have them, or just keeping your hands in your back pockets. Start to find your way into a back bend, maybe dropping the head back. Letting the neck lengthen. Stay as long as you'd like. And then come on back up. Untuck the toes. Sit down onto your heels. Just rest for a moment. One more round. Come on back up, tuck the toes, or this time leave them where they are if you want more range of motion for a deeper back bend. I'm going to still tuck mine. Hands to the back pockets. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk yourself down. Find your edge. Come on back up when you are ready. And sit down on the heels. Feels good. Let's keep going. Rock to one side. Send your legs out in front. And we're going to be here for a moment. So you can cross your legs if that feels good. You can even prop yourself up, with a bolster right behind if that feels really good. Or again, you can leave your legs long. We're going to do a couple of neck stretch series here. So inhale, grow a little bit longer, using that core to hold you up, practicing that position without a chair. And then exhale, send one ear to one shoulder, keeping the head in between two panes of glass, like our triangle pose here. Inhale back up through center, and then exhale to the other side. I'll face you here. Continue on at your own pace. We really don't have to see each other to do this. Holding on one side as long as it feels good. Take one more on each side. Now, knowing that the neck is the gateway to a lot of upper back tension, we're going to move the head now out of that plane and start to search for some tension that we may have. So arms come out to a low V. Again, you can cross your legs now if it feels better for stability. We're going to send one ear to one shoulder and then gently start to roll down all the way around. Take this first one as kind of an explorative round. And then one more time, reverse it. If you note any bits of tension, know that we'll come on back. And now that we've passed twice, exhale, start to round. And if you find any of those bits of tension, stay there for one breath cycle. So none of us are going to go through this at the same pace, and that's the beauty of this. If the spine starts to round, challenge yourself to lift up. We're trying to break that connection between rounding our spine and allowing the neck to feel a little better. We're trying to stretch out that neck right here. This may be the longest moment you've had all day to devote to just you and just what your body needs. So take every second of it. I won't rush you through it. Hopefully you have nothing calling your name, no one calling your name, nothing like that. So take this time just for you, whatever you need. We will take two more pass-throughs, one on one way and one the other way. Beautiful. Coming to stillness in the center. Woo, that feels good. Rock yourself forward. Remove that bolster if you set it up behind you. And we're going to just shift our hips around so that we're in a plank. You can do this kneeling or you can come to a full plank on your toes. I'll show you what it looks like from a kneeling plank. So knees are on the ground, but hips shift forward, like your knees were your new feet. Legs can go long or they can bend up like this. We're just going to hold here, but again, zipping in that core. If you let your belly go, this is what the back's going to do. So zip that core in. It's its own little isometric hold. You've got this. We hold here And breathe through the shakes if you have any, that's okay. That's your body getting stronger. Take one more breath. And then on your exhale, lower the elbows down by your sides as well if you're in a high plank until the torso is on the earth. Let the feet go. One cheek to the mat, hands fall open. Bend the knees, rock side to side. Coming to stillness in the center. 2 rounds of Locust Pose. Legs go long, feet all the way up through the inner thighs. Zip together, arms come out to a T. Forehead is on the mat. With your next inhale, rise your head, chest, torso, and feet together. Toes zip together, legs zip together. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Other cheek to the mat. Bend the knees, rock side to side. Let that low back release. Beautiful work. And then coming into round 2, a little quicker, a little longer, a little taller if you can. Legs go long, arms out to a T. Inhale everything up. Yes, there you go. Hold like you are flying. Hold, hold, hold. Yes, you've got it. Last 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Do whatever you need. Do whatever feels good right here. And then coming to stillness in the center, gently press yourself up onto the knees and then over onto one side, just swinging the legs around in front. We've been warming up for this our entire practice, our nice seated forward folds. You can take a forward fold in so many different fashions, but when we take it seated, I find that it really helps to get into my upper back. So we'll spend quite a bit here. Breathe, pace yourself through it. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Find a flat back until you find as low as you can go. Grab onto whatever you can, and then start to roll the upper back. Now, if that is spicy right away, option to bring your pillow or bolster on top of your legs. It's just going to reduce that range of motion and allow you to relax into it instead of feeling strained and like on the verge of pain. We don't want pain, we just want active release and stretching. So if that's you, just reverse that again, come back and let yourself relax. I promise forcing your way into this pose isn't the way to achieve flexibility. It's time. It's time, it's time. So stay here, breathe, allow your inhale to expand the back, like you feel the ribs almost separating, and then exhale, let everything come back together. Maybe option to try that spinal breath we've worked on together. Inhale, sending that breath down to the low part of the spine, and exhale, sending it up through the crown of your head. We're here for 3 more breaths. Make them nice and big. after your last breath, gently remove yourself from that meditative state to allow yourself to come back up. Just shift the pillow onto its side. We're coming back onto our backs. Knees come out in front. Just start to roll yourself back. Once you find yourself on the mat, knees come wide and then they come together. So I should say feet come wide, knees knock together. This very subtle and gentle pose will help to reset the hips, helps to ground the low back into your space, into your mat. Really starting to close down our practice here, allowing the breath to slow. Take one more breath and a gentle exhale. Now option, if you like this pose to stay, or you can lift the knees using the core, grab outside the soles of the feet, and find a happy baby. You're still pressing the low back into the mat, so you won't lose that part of the posture, but you're just allowing a little inversion in the body. Toes being higher than the heart, allowing the blood to flow in the opposite direction. You can do whatever feels good, maybe bending the knees. Take 2 more breaths here. Welcome that life force, renewing our bodies for the week ahead. And after your last exhale, bring the knees into the chest, arms come out to a T. Shift the knees over to one side. Gaze shifts to the opposite side. Just relax into this gentle spine twist. If you want a little more, extend the top leg. Maybe reach for it with your hand. Welcoming another bit of a hamstring as well as an IT band stretch. Take one more breath. And then let it go. Gently using the core, bring the knees back through the center and then over to the other side. Again, take that option if it feels good to you. One more breath. And then one more exhale. Bring the knees back through the center. Take one more very tight squeeze, everything into a ball. And then exhale, send it all long on the mat. We're finding our resting pose. So wherever you'd like to be, you can be in a Shavasana, legs long, arms out wide. Or you can use your pillow, invite it into this space. Finding a reclined bridge, or placing the legs on top of the pillow or bolster. Maybe accessing a blanket if you're gonna get cold. Find your way into the comfiest position you've been in all day, other than sleeping. Knowing that this might lead to sleeping. once you get there, roll the shoulders down your back. Give yourself the biggest exhale you've taken all day to clear everything out. Allow all the movement that you've just done to create calm, peace, emptiness through the mind. All that we've done to work up to this point allows the mind to be empty, free, clear. Just breath, only breath. Take 5 more breaths just for you, starting your week how you want to start it. From a place of grounding, strength, and stability, begin your week right here with how you want to feel and how you want to be. And know that if you can do it right here, you can do it anywhere else. It's always inside. After your last breath, make a choice to end this practice laying down where you are, or if you'd like to come to seated, to represent that full circle and that rebirth. Gently start to welcome some movement back into your body. Maybe shift your props to the side. And as slow as you can, start to make your way to that place of new beginning, finding yourself in the same seated position we started in. Eyes are closed. Hands come to heart center. I hope you know how strong you are. Let's end this together from that place of strength. Inhale. Exhale all your air. On our final Om, let those vibrations that are uniquely yours come out in whichever way they will. No judgment, just witness. Inhale. We bow to each other. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Thank you for being in this space. We feel that energy. It is loved and needed. Have a great rest of your evening and an even better week. Namaste.